This channel is proudly sponsored by Dead Tree Studios, the developers and publishers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop RPG where you play as monster girls, experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. Please check out the links in the description and in the pinned comment. Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Era Lost Legend, the core rulebook. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this Final Fantasy inspired tabletop RPG, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the factions, starting with Stardust Incorporated and its subsidiaries. Stardust Incorporated is the most powerful corporation in the world, especially when including the various subsidiaries it controls, which are comprised of technological research companies, logistics companies, and more. While on the surface it seems to be doing its job, the reality is the same as it has always been. Stardust Incorporated only cares about its own interests. Then we have the organization and Thorn. The organization group was founded a few years after the formation of Stardust Incorporated by a small number of freedom fighters in Stardust City. Its members kept most of their operations a secret, allowing other operations to take credit for them. This proved to be the master stroke which allowed the organization to remain alive and active. However, its progress in disrupting Stardust was also relatively minimal, and some cells became impatient, splitting away from the larger group. One of these was the group known as Thorn, which included Roy Starling, Jessica Hedge, and Becca Riggs. Then we have Stardust Incorporated Change Control. Change Control is undoubtedly the most sinister group of operatives Stardust Incorporated has. Under the command of their leader, Bethany Wallace, who reported only to the president of Stardust, the group carried out whatever missions were necessary to keep Stardust Incorporated in power. Then we have the Pustine Freedom Fighters. When Pustina refused Stardust Incorporated's power plants, preferring to rely on their great smokestacks for power, Stardust Incorporated besieged the city for almost 2 decades. Fortunately for the population, the Pustine Freedom Fighters were never intended to break the siege. Stardust Incorporated's resources were too great. Instead, they worked around it. They learned to run the blockade, as well as which officials could be bribed, and which should be eliminated to get more reasonable individuals as replacements. We also have the warrior monks, who have existed for millennia. People willing to sacrifice their lives to become wandering fighters, the one group who stands against the monsters. Even in the calm between the Great Wars, when there are no monsters, they historically offered policing services and resolved disputes. We also have Starfall. After the fall of Stardust Incorporated, a new corporation emerged, run by those individuals who claimed they had known about Gilgamesh or his plans for the world. This group vowed to dismantle the robots and remove everything that Stardust Incorporated was maintaining from its days as an empire. That included ending the siege of Pustina and the economic sanctions against Nirman. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about locations. When it comes to these different factions, I just gave you a glimpse of them. There is so much information concerning their structure, their hierarchies, their history, the overview, everything. Details concerning before and after Stardust's fall. So you can use one or perhaps several of these factions to build a grand campaign. Thank you for watching this part of the review. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel through PayPal or DriveThruRPG, the information will be in the description below. This has been Abraham El Jaguar, a professional game master. If you want me to run a game for you, please check out the pinned comment below. And remember, in tabletop RPGs, it's not about what you want your characters to do, it's about what your characters are doing. Once again, thank you and see you later.